So I was the anime kid in middle school. I wore anime merch, I drew anime girls, and I had an anime profile picture. Guess which character I had as my school Google account's profile picture, which all my teachers and classmates saw. And this was during COVID, and we didn't have to have cameras on, so this character was essentially my face. And it was this girl, because I thought I was funny. Can't say I'm proud of that. But as you can see, I did some embarrassing things during my anime phase, so I'm going to talk about those. But I'll also talk a bit about my opinions on the community as a whole, and some positive experiences at the end of this video. Also, a little disclaimer, I do still enjoy a decent amount of the content that I did in my anime phase, so I guess my phase never ended. Glad to know that I still have the same interests as an 8th grader. Anyway, let's get back to some stories. So, staying on the topic of, this genre of anime, want to know how I lost my innocence? Okay, before I tell you, you need to know just how innocent I was before I saw a certain show. I was super innocent. Like, I didn't know what "that's what she said" meant. I didn't know what number 6 in Swedish was. I didn't know who Jack was and what was off about him. And I didn't know why everyone snickered at the word "cum" or "wet." Okay, you get it. I knew nothing. And then I watched Boku no Pico. Yeah, so I, Sar Does Things, found out what number 6 in Swedish meant because I watched Boku no Pico. I don't think that's the best way to learn about the no pants dance. But whatever, I turned out fine. I watched it because everyone said not to watch it, so naturally I did. I remember expecting it to be some poorly animated romance or something, but no. It was way worse. Anyway, let's move on. I want you to understand how engraved being a weeb was into my identity. It was basically my defining character trait. Everything I did was somehow anime related. Like, apart from a select few, none of the shows I watched had real people in them. On YouTube, I'd watch anime content creators, anime/cosplay TikTok compilations, because I wasn't allowed on TikTok, and like X show in a nutshell. Do they still make those? I hope so. And the only music I listened to was like anime openings, and then like fandom songs, to the point that I barely knew any actual artists. If you're interested, my favorite songs in middle school were the Angels of Death opening and Doki Doki Forever. Oh, and I also loved those anime rap battles. These two are my favorites. Anyway, I've grown out of that. Now I listen to real music, like the Cuphead rap. Most of my usernames were also anime related, like my Among Us username was Boku no Pico, because I thought I was funny. If we didn't have to use our real names in Kahoot, mine was always 177013. Once again, because I thought I was funny. Another Kahoot username I used was SAO Sucks, because I thought original thoughts. Also, I've never seen Sword Art Online. But one of my most embarrassing things that I did was that I wanted to subtly hint to people that I liked anime. I barely had any friends who had the same interests, so I was determined to connect with other people who liked anime. But instead of being normal and just talking to someone, I wanted to hint to them that I liked anime so that they would start the conversation instead. For example, during online school, if I had to share my screen for like a presentation or whatever, I would have Crunchyroll open in a tab so people would know that I was cool and not paying attention to online school. And instead I was watching Super Lovers. That was a joke. I did not have a Fujoshi phase, but I unfortunately have seen Super Lovers. I don't remember like any of it, which I think is a good thing. But out of all of my subtle hint. The following story still haunts me. I was in this theater club after school, and for our final spring performance, which was shown to our parents and friends, we got to write our own play. And so during the first week of planning, we all got these character sheets to fill out so we could design the character that we would play. It had questions like likes and dislikes and hobbies, stuff like that. And one of the questions was, what is your character's biggest secret? And we were filling these sheets out in pairs, and I was pairs with this guy who I hadn't talked to much, but I knew he liked anime. So I wanted to hint to him that I, too, watched Japanese cartoons. So under the what is your character's biggest secret question, I wrote, she is a weeb. The guy just stared at my answer with a confused expression for 2 seconds, and then moved on to the next question. So, my plan worked perfectly. And remember how I said that we had to fill this sheet out during the first week? Yeah, the teacher not only read the papers, because he was the one who wrote the final script, he also kept the papers and handed them back out to us every single meeting. I think I learned self-awareness at some point because I remember scribbling out my answer and then writing something else. But then every meeting I was reminded of my questionable decisions when I saw the stupid scribble under the secrets question. Talking about things that I would like to scribble out of my mind, Junko posing. Just kidding, Junko posing is fine. I just needed a fluid transition. Luckily, I wasn't allowed on TikTok. So instead, I would Junko pose in front of my bathroom mirror for hours on end. Just kidding. But for long enough that my parents would be knocking on the door, telling me to get out. Honestly, a good thing that I wasn't allowed on TikTok, because no one needed to see my crappy attempts at participating in random cosplay TikTok trends. But it would also be funny to have videos of them just for nostalgia's sake, or to laugh at. But talking about TikTok, I also really like the 2020 alt style. I never dressed that way myself, partly because I didn't own eyeliner, but mainly because I was afraid my parents would judge me. So I looked from afar and wished that I could dress like that. But also, I was not and have never been alt in the slightest, so don't think I could have pulled it off. Speaking of fashion, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I depict my middle school self like this. It's only slightly exaggerated, I've never owned a body pillow, but I had 2 styles in middle school. This, so jeggings, and then a random t-shirt or hoodie, most of which had some stupid saying or joke on them. And then occasionally, I dressed like an anime girl from Temu. But when I wasn't dressed like either of those, I wore ugly anime merch. At the time, I lived in Finland in the middle of nowhere, so I didn't really have any way of getting anime merch. There weren't any stores near me, and I was too embarrassed to ask my parents to order anything for me. But there was one store close to my school at the time, GameStop, and they occasionally sold anime merch clothing, which is what I wanted. I didn't care too much about figurines. I bought a few, but I needed something that I could wear because of my previously mentioned plan to hint to people that I liked anime. And one day, I was doing my rounds at GameStop, and I saw an Attack on Titan shirt. There was one left, and it was size XXL, and I'm a medium. It looked like garbage on me. It was not cute, not even in the oversized shirt kind of way, more so in the dress up as your dad to school kind of way. But I wore it all the time because I wanted to show my anime fan pride. Don't judge me, my options were very limited. But my plan to make friends through the shirt didn't really work though. I think 2 people said, "Hey, is that Attack on Titan?" I said, "Yeah," and that was the end of the conversation. No meaningful friendships were formed. How tragic. Anyway, now for some positives about my anime phase and my nostalgia for 2020. I had fun. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm kidding. But even though I'm not as much in the anime community as I once was, I do still appreciate it. Everything definitely had its problems, but there are some shows that I still rewatch now or have a great appreciation for. There are soundtracks from games I still listen to even though I haven't played the game itself in years, and though I didn't have many people in my life who had similar interests to me at the time, when I got older and I found other people who liked anime, it was really easy to break the ice because we could talk about the same shows. Anime also got me into drawing and writing, hobbies which I still have now, and who knows if I would be as passionate about them if I never watched Japanese cartoons. And obviously I look back on this time a bit blinded by nostalgia, but I do think I really enjoyed my anime phase. It was cool to feel like I was a part of some secret club when someone's username was a reference and I could pick up on it. I like the sense of community, even with all the problematic stuff, and as cliche as it was, I liked that everyone was a bit cringe. There was a medium-sized trend at the start of the year to bring back 2020 TikTok, and while I thought it was fun, realistically I don't think it'll be possible to capture the same feeling. It's kind of like how Fortnite is bringing back old maps. Like at the start, it's interesting because you can visit nostalgic locations and use vaulted weapons, but it's not the same because people have changed. Yeah, the old map is back, but there's no laser beam suffering during update nights, and the people you used to play with may not be interested in the game anymore. The same way your favorite creators from 2020 don't post the same content, or the people you spent 2020 with aren't the same people they once were. And neither are you. So it's not the 2020 aesthetic necessarily that I miss, it's the people and the sense of community. And even though I'm still friends with some of the people I spent 2020 with, they aren't the same people they were in 2020, and neither am I. We're adults now with university and jobs and responsibilities. Obviously, we have different interests now than when we were 14 because that's just how life works. So I think instead of reminiscing the past, we should try and find the same type of joy and insert it into the present. And I know that can be difficult to do because it feels like every single little thing is considered cringe now. So I think we should bring back the more kind of accepting mentality of 2020. And yeah, we could bring back the styles and whatever. But we shouldn't just try to recreate 2020 perfectly, but more so insert the good aspects of it into 2025 and create something new. Or don't do that. I can't tell you what to do, just do what you want. But you know what I can tell you to do? Subscribe to my channel for more, what did they say in 2020? Pogger videos like this one. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye!